It's February 5th, 2019. About an hour and a half left in the trading day. One trade I wanted to show you, which was a short that I took, the only trade I took today. And it was Boyd Gaming, entertainment stock, casino stock. And this shop showed up on my bouncing through vwap scan, which really just looks for long plays for the most part. Well, it's designed to look for long plays, but you have to adapt your trading, and this popped up in my long scan. Obviously you can see why. What that scan does is a trade idea scan. Trade ideas is the best software out there. If you're going to be a day trader, you gotta use it. It'll help you. You can design your own scans. It'll help you find stocks that fit your trading style, and that's very key for new day traders. If you are going to get into day trading, you have to find your comfort level, what you're comfortable trading, the types of strategies and the types of stocks and plays that fit both your trading style and your account size. Because sometimes there's stocks that they might be good plays, but you have to have a lot of money to be able to play them if you're going to take enough shares to make it worth it. So Trade Ideas is the best, and it showed up in this scan. And rather than looking for it somewhere in that scan, because I know it's buried deep now, it probably showed up at around 1050 or something, where it's breaking back through 50. Actually, no, it probably showed up around, because I have it set not to show anything before like 1030, I think. So it probably showed up around 1115-ish here, where you can see it was down on the day. That's what it looks for, stocks down on the day, then coming back up through VWAP. And so this came back up through VWAP and then kind of struggled. You see, it's messy. It's one of the reasons why I had no real intention of going long on this play. And I'll show you what tips me off to going short. So busted up here, big green candle, had some volume, but a lot of times what goes up fast can come down pretty quickly. And you can see it had this big topping tail here right after the big green candle. That tells you that buyers were still trying to push it up, but sellers ended up kind of winning here. And then you see the next candle's big red, so that says, oh, okay, now maybe sellers in control. And you can see what happened the rest of the day. Sellers were in control from this point on. So so I didn't get in right away. I watched it kind of move down back to VWAP, and I wanted to see if it would bounce or continue through. And it looked like it was continuing through. I could have gotten in right here at 29.39, but I waited to see what would happen. It kind of came back up, and I said, all right, I'm gonna get in here at 29.37, 29.3715. I think was the exact average of my shares when I bought them here, and I put my stop above this little indecision doji right here at 29.50. So only 13 cents buffer. That's all I needed, was 13 cents. So obviously, if you're trading, day trading, you want 2-to-1 at minimum reward to risk ratio. So if you're risking a 13-cent drop, you want it to drop 13-cent reversal, basically. Like, this is your buffer. If you're risking 13 cents, saying it'll come back 13 cents, I'll get out, then you want it to drop 26 cents, right? So I got in at 29.37, and it continued downward like I had hoped. And then I got out at about 29. Let's say I kept moving my stop up too, so I was reducing my risk as I went. And I got out at around 29.13 or 14. So basically a drop of about 24 cents or so, 24 cents, which is great. That's all I needed. You can see now it might actually be going back the other way. You had a little bottoming tail here. But what also tipped me off is if you look at this 15-minute chart, these are 15-minute candles. It was below this 10 EMA, which I find very helpful on a 15-minute chart, below it. And then it busted back up and then came back down. And I waited for it to stay below this 10 EMA, which eventually did. And you can see I got in at 12:55, around 12:55 time-wise, and that would be about right here time-wise, because it had settled below this 10 EMA, and I felt like it was going to hold. So got in at 29.37, put my stop at around 29.50, which is really the high of this 10 EMA too. You see it kind of snakes up a little and then comes back down. So I had a lot of things working in my favor. You see the cross here on the 8 EMA and 20 SMA. This is another 5-minute chart where VWAP is important, but I also like to watch the EMAs, the 8 EMA and the 20 SMA. If they cross, sometimes it shows change in direction, which here looks like it did, even though it was a little whippy all over the place here. But a lot of things in your favor for this one to be a good short. So it worked out well. And now, more importantly, or I should say just as important, I looked at the yearly. So on this yearly chart, you can see that it had been moving up a lot over the past, let's see, everything's been moving up since Christmas, 12/24. Moving up. Big jump. I think it might have been earnings, I'm not sure. So it jumped up to this 200 simple moving average on a daily chart, which is very important if you're going to swing trade or position trade. The 200 moving average is important. Now it hung around there, but then it dropped each day. See, each one of these is a day, and it's dropping. And so today it opened below yesterday, or it opened right at where it closed yesterday. So for me, this tells you that if everything on the 5-minute candle chart and the 15 minutes, and like basically everything on the intraday chart is dropping, then this has more significance because it's been dropping over the past week, right? And it's moving away from the 200. So a lot of things in your favor on this trade. So I got in and I got out, and that was it for the day. Just a small trade, and it took, let's see, it took about, I got in at 12:56 and got out at 2:11. So it was about a 2-hour and 15-minute trade, and it yielded a nice 24-cent drop for me, which was great. That's really all you need, and I only risked 13 cents. If you were trading, 100 shares, I was only risking $13 at that point. If I had 100 shares, 1,000 shares, you'd be risking about $130. But obviously, you'd be looking to gain about $260 off of that. So, it's nice. These trades are nice for new day traders because you don't have to worry about a lot of movement, and you know what you're risking here, which is minimal with 13-cent buffer. So it worked out. And there's a couple other trades that I was looking at today that I didn't end up taking that were coming back through vwap. Yeah, see, this was nice and tight coming back through vwap, Intel stat, and then it kind of failed. So, but it jumped. I mean, these are. Let's see, right here, I probably could have gotten in right here at around 18. Put my stop a little below 18. It went all the way up to 1880. So even though it doesn't look like it went up much, if you're percentage-wise, you're getting like a pretty nice boost here. And then it failed eventually. I think Manta or Momentum, whatever I call it, Manta. Yeah, so this one again showed up in my vwap scam. Down on the day, working its way back up to vwap. Big jump here, but then it failed it. Second break of vwap. I always talk about the second break of vwap being important because it means that buyers tried to bring it back up, and sellers said, you know what, we're going to fight you and bring it back down. But then look at this volume here. Buyers brought it right back up again. Usually that means sellers are like, all right, fine, you win. Once you have that second defeat, usually sellers walk away and say, okay, buyers are in control, and that's what happened here. So here would have been a nice place to get in at 1409. Could have ridden it up this little wave all the way up to about 1437, so almost a 30-cent gain. But this 200 moving average, this 5-minute 200 moving average, could be a resistance line. So you don't know if it busts through that, it could keep going. And if you look at the yearly chart, it might tell you, yeah. So it's been moving up since the 20 SMA crossed the 50 SMA. So it's been moving up. A little break here, but it could continue back up. You never know. I mean, daily, there's definitely some room for it to work with a little bit. Yeah, so those were the only ones I was looking at that I didn't get into, but the one that made the difference for me, the only trade I took today, was Boyd Gaming, so a casino stock, really. So I let the casinos make me money today. That's one of the fun things about day trading is some of the companies that you get to trade, they're making you money. Anyway, if you have any questions, see, now it looks like it's going down a little bit, maybe more, maybe continuation. See how it's this 8 EMA and 20 SMA that's crossed right here down? It's been holding that line this whole time. So you could inch your stop up, which is what I did once it got to about here, just above this orange line, which is the 8 EMA. Just keep moving it because it seems to obey it, right? And then if it breaks that at any point and holds it, it could be a sign that it's going to turn back up again. So anyway, yeah, good trade. Any questions, let me know in the comments, and I will be happy to answer them. Take care.